Hello, welcome to Miniature Realms. My name's Stuart. Let's talk about Warhammer the Old World goals for 2026. I think I know mine, but do you know yours?
Miniature Realms is proudly sponsored by Counter-Attack Bases. They stock a wide range of counters, gaming aids and movement trays for multiple game systems, and offer custom items to suit your club, your event, or even your podcast or YouTube channel. Check out the link in the video description.
I'm not really one for making New Year's resolutions. I never have been. And the few times that I have made them, I haven't managed to achieve them or achieve them all. And I think that's a story for a lot of people. And the last thing I want to do is make a list of things that I'd like to do without really having a solid plan about how I'm going to achieve them. So this video is not quite just a big wish list. There will be some things that I'm hoping to do, of course, in there. And then there'll be some things that aren't nailed on. But I also want to give myself a set of achievable goals for Warhammer the Old World, which is what this is about. I obviously cover other game systems on this channel. This one is focused purely around my goals for 2026 for Warhammer the Old World, but also about finding out yours. I want you to put in the comments below what goals you're setting yourself for this year. And these are quite broad stroke goals in some respects as well, and they should be achievable, or at least to have a good chance. And I'm not going to beat myself up on it if I don't achieve them all. And they're not sort of paint this unit, that kind of thing. That might work for you. For me, these are a little bit bigger than that, a little bit wider than that. In fact, over on the channel's Discord, I run something called MHP, the monthly hobby pledge, where there's a channel there that the Discord members can go along and pledge to paint or build or something. They pledge their hobby for the month, and at the end of the month they come back and say, yes, I've achieved it, or no, they haven't, and then the next month, and so on and so on. So it's giving yourself a little goal for that month. And I used to do that lots, and I don't do it much anymore, even though I run it, because the channel tends to take that away, and that might actually link to one of my overall hobby goals. But if you're interested in that, head over to the Discord. Anyone can take part in that. It's just a bit of fun. If you are a patron for the tiers 2, 3 and 4, the top 3 tiers, you can actually earn badges as well. That's a side thing. But yeah, check the Discord out, check the Patreon out, blah blah blah. But I've got 5 goals I'm giving myself for this year. They're a mixture of different types, and we're going to go through them now. So let's start off with the first one, and that's to go to 2 events. Historically, this is something I'm not great at doing, and I could definitely do better at making sure I go to events. And some of it is because it's hard to organise, it's hard to arrange. I have my own business, I work for myself, and it's this channel and it's commission painting, so that means that my own holiday time I'm not earning, so I'm often catching up a little bit at weekends and things, and I enjoy that. I'm not moaning at all, I love what I do, but it does change that. I'm not on a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday when I get set holidays off. I've got a young family, like many of you as well, I'm sure. Both of these things, people have work stresses with going away at weekends, and people have family stresses. It's normal. I'm not moaning. I'm not different to anyone else. My wife also works a lot of weekends, mostly Saturdays. She doesn't work many Sundays, but she works most Saturdays throughout the year, the nature of her job, which is great for some things and not great for others. And what that tends to mean is that when she does have a Saturday off each month, we tend to do something as a family that weekend, which is brilliant. I love it. I love spending time with my wife and my 2 young boys, but that would be a weekend that I could potentially go to an event. And it's not a case of we're both off all the weekends and I'll say, well, I'll have the kids this weekend, you have the kids that weekend. It just doesn't work. So it does make it a challenge. Now I'm cheating a little bit. I've got an event planned in a couple of weeks' time at the end of January. It's doubles for Warhammer the Old World at Warhammer World, and I love events at Warhammer World. And last year I should have gone to 2 and I made 0. I missed out on Throne of Skulls in January last year because I was a little bit late getting back from Disneyland, so real violin moment there. And then in the end of the summer, the doubles for Warhammer the Old World I missed because my mother passed away. So I'm now hopefully going to make that this time round. There's a video out very soon of what I'm taking and some of my plans around that army and what I'm going to do afterwards, which I know people like on the channel, so look out for that very, very soon. I've made another board as well, so I'll be showing that off in that video. So I'm really hopeful that I'll get that first one in 2 weeks' time, barring any other disasters. And life has thrown up something very recently that could have costed again, but we're looking okay, and I'm looking forward to going to that event. And if you're going to it, let me know in the comments. I'd love to meet up with you. And that leaves me one other throughout the rest of the year, and it's about what do I do? Do I go to a traditional tournament event, or do I go to something else? And for me, I'm going to leave it open. It could mean arranging a meetup with some of the Discord members, some of the patrons. We've talked about it before. That classes as an event for me. Or even just a small gathering of, I meet up with Jordan from Jordan Sorcery Channel and my friend Dan, even if it's just getting 6 or 7 people together for a bit of an arranged game, a big narrative game or something. That might class as the event for me as well. I just mean rather than just playing a game at my local club. My second goal, so number 2, is to play a little bit more. Similar restrictions, similar problems to the first one, and that's just why I've made it my number 2. I do play the game. I'm not getting 6-10 games more a month kind of player. I'm not practicing for events, and it's not my main focus. I really enjoy playing the game, but I enjoy painting and reading the lore and the whole thing that comes together with loving war games and playing war games just as much. So it's not a problem for me. I'm not sad I don't play more. But when I mean play a little bit more, it means play a little bit more away from the home. Not just against my son, a little bit more against other adults, because it's a wildly different game, obviously, and because of my work pressures and the family pressures, quite often it's hard for me to get to local clubs. I'm getting to the stage now where my youngest is old enough, when they're not going to Beavers or Cubs or swimming lessons or any of the other clubs, it doesn't leave me with a lot of weekends or evenings free. So that's the challenge, but I want to try and play a little bit more, making sure that I don't go through a whole month without playing an adult and only playing a game against my son, because as much as I love him, is like I said, it's a different game, and I want to make sure that I don't miss whole months where I've not got a game at a club with another adult where I can have a little bit of a chat and have a different kind of game. So that's one of my goals this year. Goal number 3 is to finish painting my Null army. I'm trying really hard not to make this list a list of hobby projects, because it's very easy to do, and quite often where I would fall down when I make a list like this. I set myself some goals, and most of them are to finish particular armies, which is great. It's fine. It's nice to have those goals, and they're still there in the back of my head. I'd like to finish a few things. I've got ideas of what I'd like to do, but if I set them as an official goal, well, I might review at the end of the year. It's a little bit hard on me because I don't know what's coming out this year. I don't know what's going to be released, and those goals change. And that's usually why painting goals like that don't happen, is because something else comes along which takes my interest or takes my time. So I'm not putting too many of those on there, but Null is on there for a number of reasons. One, I love Empire. It's a project that I'm still really passionate about doing, and every time that I've gone to kind of get back on it, something else has come along. So it was supposed to be my army for Throne of Skulls the previous January, which I didn't make for the reasons I said, and as soon as I knew I was unlikely to make it, things started to slow down with it. It was going to be my armies on parade, and again that changed. And I think that it was a busy summer of releases, and getting Cathay from Games Workshop, which was amazing, really derailed the Null project. And then a few other releases come along, and I'm trying to do content on the channel that match the releases, and again Null just kept getting paused and pushed away, and I was going to do it even for the doubles at the end of this month, but the opportunity to do something with Renegade Crowns has really infused me, and I want to do that. So again, it got paused and moved on. So it is going to be a goal that I'm going to have to find the time throughout the year to make sure I do get that army finished, because I want to play it. I love Empire, and it will be done. Goal number 4 is not to let the channel's output 100% dominate what I do with my own hobby projects. And it's difficult, and there's a reason I've put these goals in the order that I'm explaining them to you, because I've just talked about Null, and many of the examples around Null not being finished is because of the releases and the things that came out. Obviously there were some personal things as well, and my own choices, but a lot of that was driven by time being taken away, because amazing new fun projects, and I have to be honest that those are going to happen. I am going to get stuff maybe, or buy stuff to do with new releases, and I'm going to cover it, because It's what I'm passionate about, talking about new things when the excitement's out there. It's what you as viewers want to see. You don't want to see me just making every video about painting a Null army. There'll be fans out there that will comment maybe and say, yes, just make it all Null. But realistically, I need to make the channel interesting and keep up with current releases. And that's not always just Warhammer the Old World, even though this video is focused on that. So there will be time pressures on it. But I want to try and find some time to make sure that I still do a couple of the big projects and things I'm really passionate and I've got great ideas for, and make sure they get delivered alongside that other stuff. Now, part of me hopes we do get a month or two off for the 40k release. I'm not going to mind that, because maybe that gives me the perfect opportunity to work on a couple of other projects. And these are projects actually that I will be sharing on the channel, that I plan to share on the channel. But right now, one of them definitely would just work against the algorithm and what everyone else is clicking to see for Warhammer the Old World, which is a problem. And that is paint the Skaven army that I've bought. I've got in boxes, and I did a couple of painting tutorials. There's a Doom Wheel, there's the Rat Ogres. They look good. I'm happy with them. I want to see what the whole army would look like, and I love the look of a whole Skaven army. And I've never owned one. I've never painted a whole Skaven army, so I want to own one. The problems are it's a legacy faction. It's a legacy faction that doesn't play that well at the moment. That might change. I'm recording this before FAQ. Who knows whether they do anything that helps that. And that doesn't matter to me as a hobbyist, but the realities around how that works with the channel and whether people are likely to click on videos with painting a Skaven army, well, I can tell you that they're not going to click on that anywhere near as much as people who are interested in an army that just plays more competitively. You're likely to see at events. That's just the way it works. That's the way that YouTube works. I get more people viewing my predictions for the year videos than I do when I paint a giant. It's just the way it works, and that's fine. I'm balancing that. And just to be clear, the Skaven are not goal 4. Not letting the channel dictate all my hobby projects is goal 4. So another one of those big videos I want to make actually is making some docks terrain that can be used as Nuln's docks or Marienburg. It doesn't matter. I've got a lovely big resin ship that was very, very, very kindly gifted to me, and I want to turn that into some terrain that I can use on the board for some really big narrative games. I've already used a couple of water effect things with boats recently. People have seen I've got some ideas. I really want a lovely bustling dock area that I can put at the end of my table for fun games, for fun narrative games of Warhammer the Old World. I've got lots of miniatures I'm going to use in it. It's going to be a lot of non-GW stuff. I've got lots of things being given to me. I've got some of Hixie's halflings that'll be brilliant around those docks. I've got some Paul Stanley sculpts. He sent me loads, and they will all be perfect around there. It's going to be a really fun big project, but it's one of those, it will take me a couple of months to paint and build it all and film, and it will be a lot of work to edit. So I need a period where there aren't lots of releases essentially to do it, so that I can still put out other videos at the same time, work away in the background, and then put out a big terrain video. 'Cause based on my more time terrain videos, some of the board terrain videos, people like those, and it will be fun to do. So I'm sharing it with you now, so it puts a little bit more pressure on me to find the time, but I kind of need 2 months where there's not really a big release for Warhammer the Old World, so in order to get the time to do it. Number 5, and the final one, my final goal, because too many, it just won't happen, is just to learn something new or develop something new. With my painting, I try to do this every year. It doesn't need to be anything really, really big. It might just be a new technique or an improvement on existing techniques. I think in 2025, I really started to push my use of contrast as glazes beyond just base coating with them over a zenithal and then highlighting on top. Really getting to use not just citadel contrast but army paint or speed paint, which you'll see more in a video coming up, and just painting with them fully over a good quality underpainting, blending them together, mixing them together like I use for my wood painting techniques. Something like that, but something new, something that comes along. It might be going away and learning and trying a new technique and challenging myself. It might be developing or finding something new. So I want to get to the end of the year and think, yes, there's something changed. There's a new thing I've learned how to do, and I've either shared it with you or it's something that's been more of a personal thing. I don't know yet, but something related to painting that I feel like I've added to my armoury by the end of the year. And that's it. That's my 5 Warhammer the Old World hobby goals. And you could argue number 5 isn't Warhammer the Old World related, but it's there anyway. So it's number one, get to 2 events. I've got 1 booked, and the second one can be quite broad in its stroke of what an event is. 2, play more games, not loads and loads more, just a few more in there, so I don't end up with a whole month when I've not got a proper game in. That's happened a couple of times last year. Number 3, finish that Null army, or at least the sort of around the 2,500 points of it painted, so I can play some other games. Number 4, don't let the channel's output 100% dictate what I do in terms of hobby projects, and trying to get in a couple of the poor big Warhammer the Old World projects that I've had in my mind for ages that you keep getting kicked or bumped to the bottom of the list. And then the last one, as I said, is develop something new, learn something new, painting wise for the year. But that's where I stop. Doesn't mean that's where you stop. Please do jump in the comments and let me know what your goals are. And it doesn't just have to be Warhammer the Old World related. If you don't play the game, or your goals are a mix across different game systems and things, please just put whatever your goals are for the year. I'll be really, really interested. It doesn't have to be 5. It could be as many as you want. Tell me as much or as little, but I'm always interested to hear what other people are up to and what hopes they have for the year ahead. Give the video a like. If you're still watching now, you've probably enjoyed it enough, or you're really, really in pain at this point. But give the video a like, helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And please do check out my Patreon. It's the best way you can support me, and there's lots of fun benefits for you as well. As I already mentioned, with the monthly hobby pledge, there's a little extra there for some patron members. And check out the Discord as well. It's free to join. There is a separate section for patrons, but the bulk of it is absolutely free. It's a really friendly place to talk about hobby, not just Old World as well, pretty much any game system under the sun. There's lots of other links in the video description as well, including a couple that gives you discount, which is always good in my mind. Check out the channel sponsor. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you soon.